There we go.
Hello.
Hello. More
Back
of this
with
nightmare.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
This is the worst timeline.
No, it could be a lot worse. Trust me.
At very least, it's worse than the one where Markiplier becomes a cult leader.
No, that one's pretty bad. I did not.
Yeah. I love the fact that he's jokingly pointed out that there is probably a parallel universe where that's happened.
Parallel universes exist, yes.
Pretty sure that they do. Anyway.
They probably do.
No, it was just like, yeah, I've got a great voice. I'm a great public speaker. I very much have an ego. Like part of the
what
whole
would his
thing.
cultists be called?
I have no idea. He names the cult after himself.
The Pliers.
I'm imagining that this would be like, pre-YouTube probably.
Mm-hmm.
If he had gone into YouTube, still quit school for being still quit school before becoming an engineer, but instead of dropping out to do YouTube, he drops out to start a cult.
Let's make a religion out of it.
Hello, everybody. Have you heard the good news?
The question becomes, would it be one of those cults that's like, they're weird, but they're oddly helpful to the community? Or like, would he be like full-on evil cult?
Okay, so Chick-fil-A or Mormonism, got it.
Yes? Question mark? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, like the Chick-fil-A higher ups do fucking send money to fucking gay conversion therapy groups and shit like that. And yet local branches will be completely fine with that shit and I don't know, why would we hate gay people and shit like that?
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway. On to another terrible thing. We should probably start reading this.
Yes, on to another atrocity of mankind, heading on from Chick-fil-A to Frollo fanfiction.
Hey, here we go.
Those seem weirdly on par with each other. Let you figure out which one that's insulting. We're on part 6, part 1 of Didn't It Blow Your Mind, Claude Frollo, The High Cost of Carelessness.
Oh no, you mess with time and
I was going to say,
insert
Raven screeching scene from Billy and Mandy here.
You messed with the natural order!
I think I just went straight to the librarian for that.
Not quite. You're a little more screechy than the librarian.
Even more screechy, wow. Well,
Sir Raven's a great character.
While Denisha accompanies the Good Time Boys on another adventure, let's switch to the Palace of Justice, where an inexperienced service carelessness sets the wheels in motion.
When it comes to this whole thing, yeah, it's not super well written. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm actually really interested in what's going to happen next, just because it's like watching a car crash,
I was about to say, it's the train crash, the train wreck joke we made earlier.
Ah, damn it, I didn't mean to make that joke again. But no, that's the whole thing with this. It's like, I don't find this person's prose unpleasant. Strange, yes, but not unpleasant.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the prose isn't the issue. It's the story, characters, and message.
There's a message to this.
There's a message to everything, Tom.
Even if you're not hoping to write one, someone will find something to write.
That's kind of the whole thing, is that regardless of whether or not you mean to write a message, your personal philosophies will show through whatever you're writing, therefore causing it to have a message inadvertently.
Exactly. The little chambermaid, her pale blonde hair hanging in wisps from her cap, busily polished the magnificent cherrywood plant stand that stood in front of the far corner of Claude Frollo's study.
That poor girl.
She was looking forward to when they overthrew the bourgeois and cut his damn head off. She knew that she must...
few centuries.
I know, but even so, it was still funny.
Guillotine is hungry for politicians.
Never make that joke again.
We have only Ichitan to blame for this. She put the image in the chat in the first place.
She knew that she must be brief lest she is caught by Judge Frollo himself. After all, one of the senior footmen said, "His Grace does not relish servants lingering about, so be quick with your work." The girl did as requested. His Grace was presently in his dungeons with the strange New World woman. The little maid took advantage.
Yes, I understand now. Nergigante. Okay.
The little man took advantage of his absence to tidy Claude Frollo's study.
Wrong New World. Whoops.
Just implications. Stop working like that, brain. Bad brain.
What, the implications of Claude Frollo getting fucked by a Nergigante?
No. He was presently in his dungeons with that strange New World woman. That's implied Claude Frollo sex and other kinky shit, which I don't want to imagine.
Yeah, implied frolication is typically pretty bad.
Who came up with that term?
Me.
Okay, I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure.
I was either going to say that or califrolocation.
Well, I dream of Californication, but like...
Yes, that was the reference.
I know, it was the reference. I like the song.
Dream of califrolocation.
No, I don't dream of that.
Just a quick tidy, an easy task for His Grace. Fuck, that went from French to something else real fast.
I was about to ask if you were trying to do a French accent, but I think you caught it too, so I'm not going to say anything.
It started out almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Such a neat man. His desk is so orderly. Nope.
His desk is so orderly. Look at it.
Every voice I do just goes straight to Russian. No, finish the grates and dust the plant stand. This is so beautiful. Don't forget underneath. What's this tiny lever? Oh, well, just dust around it. Oops.
Somehow her dust cloth had snagged on that lever. In an effort to untangle the cloth, she accidentally tripped the lever. At that moment, a secret compartment on the backside of the plant stand popped open, revealing a heavy iron key contained therein.
I think I figured out why her doing this bugs me. It's the ellipses. The ellipses make it feel unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like actual pauses a person are making.
Yeah. Shit! I forgot to do my southern narrator voice for the thing. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take away from what you're saying. Yeah, no, it does feel unnatural, and that is bugging. That is bugging me.
My immediate thought with this would not be, "Oh well, just dust around it." Oops. My like how I would think of trying to write that would be, "Oh well, just dust around." Oops.
It's dust around. Oh God, why? Just. A dash would have
time to dust around. Shit.
A dash would have worked a little bit better because it's interrupting the action.
At least with that part, but these other ellipses, they just God, so beautiful. Don't forget underneath.
Just the whole thing with the ellipses, it's like it seems to be an excessive use of them. Like that, if done correctly, ellipses are perfectly fine. But this is just
it's like when a neckbeard's trying to hit on you over text.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Llytic.
For the love of fuck, stop stuttering in the text. It's terrible. You do this one more time, I'm going to take your phone and shove it down your throat. Anyway.
I think it's your line.
No. Wait,
I said
no,
just
yeah,
a quick
yeah, it is
tidy.
your line.
And
That's right.
I
What is this? Muttered the maid as she removed the key from its hiding place. Suddenly she heard a sharp-edged voice calling to her.
It's Sir
What?
Raven. Oh God.
No. Oh God, no. What are you doing? Meddling in His Grace's private property. This was Gerard. Way? The same senior footman who had berated her earlier. He glared hard at her as he said warningly, "My gal, it's a good thing Judge Frollo didn't come in and catch you. He'll surely have your head. Now, return whatever you found to its proper place and be gone."
Yes, because commoners were executed as humanely by being beheaded.
I'm not entirely sure me squeezing the sides of my throat was necessary, but it made it seem like it came out at a higher pitch.
I think it's less of the pitch and more you need to sound more shrill. I don't know.
Inane.
Yeah, maybe.
I definitely felt it.
The maid whimpered her apologies, returned the key to its hiding place, then gathered her cleaning supplies and made a hasty exit. Gerard remained in the room long enough to examine the plant stand. He actually turned the lever and popped open the secret compartment.
He never thought to look underneath.
He smiled and made his way down the corridor to where a guard stood watch. Gerard approached the soldier and whispered to him, okay, I'm going to have to try to go for shrill here. Take little Jeanette for her carelessness, for now I know where Frollo has hidden the key. The key!
That voice sounds familiar and I can't place it.
I don't know either, and it's scaring me. To this, the lieutenant replied, "Good! Our man will be quite pleased with this news. When do we make our move?"
Again, he never thought to check under the desk.
Probably not.
That's like the first fucking place you check for a secret thing.
So maybe they were like, oh, he'd never hide it in the most obvious place, so I'm just going to move on to the next one.
Gerard glanced about to see if Frollo or any of his grace's minions was about.
That's a bit annoying.
Yeah. Then said,
"Tonight, for I know his grace will be out for the evening, visiting with one of his ladies. I overheard him say this to that fat New World spy.
Dodagama?
Monster Hunter's just on your mind tonight, isn't it?
Perhaps. I'm going into withdrawals. Also, I think I might have vomited slightly into my mouth while doing that, because I taste bile.
Ooh, maybe back off on the voice a little bit.
There was this slight pop, and then everything was sour.
I hate it when that happens. That's not a fun. That's ugh.
It wasn't the usual thing of vomiting into my own mouth. It was the fact that happens similarly regularly is annoying.
Do you have acid reflux or something?
I don't think so.
Okay, that could be part of it. Anyway,
I'm talking once every few weeks, not.
All right, so.
Are we really doing health advice right now?
I don't know, but I'm just reading this name coming up. Lieutenant LeSabre.
Okay.
Is LeSabre an actual French name?
I mean, Major used to be an English name.
I mean, I know it's a car, but Well,
then it's probably a name. LeSabre, name origin. French for the saber. It's a surname.
Okay. Okay, so basically, you'd be like Claude the Saber. That's actually kind of cool.
Claude the Saber. I think you kind of ruined it with Claude.
Okay. Pierre the Saber. How about that?
Yeah, somehow it's easier to sound badass with a name like Pierre than it is a name like Claude.
That could also be because we're reading the Claude Frollo fan fiction and has a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth. But okay,
I mean, I already have a bad taste in my mouth, but
that's besides the point. That's personal problem. Leave your personal issues to yourself, Llytic. Dang. Lieutenant LeSabre then said, please take care around that one, Gerard. She's as sharp as a knife. She rarely misses a thing. Then the soldier added
don't even get me started on when she starts vomiting up explosive rocks. You okay?
That just caught me off guard. It's like
the stupidest joke I could have made.
One of them, but in a good way. In a good way. Then the soldier added that Frollo and his New World spy were presently somewhere within the Palais, but he wasn't sure of the exact location. All he knew was that Madame Grigsby is to depart this afternoon. That I know.
Well, I swear to God, if it's another thing of berries or Pokeballs. Anyway, Gerard then said,
With her out of the way, we can finally make our move. Now, do you remember the precise location?
the lieutenant nodded.
Very well, said Gerard, sporting a wide smile.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Palais, Minister Frollo and Fern confer on many topics.
Okay. Sorry, I was looking up the pronunciation of that word, and it's palais. And
Palais?
Yeah,
Yeah,
palais.
that makes sense, French.
Yep.
It was health potions.
Okay. My dear Fern, I hope your little plan works. Nothing must be left to chance. Claude Frollo, ever the gentleman, said as he rolled his loaded dice. Escorted Fern Grigsby up the winding steps leading from the dungeons.
Oh, good. Ever the gentleman. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Fan, this plan must be kept in the utmost secrecy, or else.
Potter.
This next line, I swear.
Oh,
Ferns laughed and said assuredly, Claude, don't fret so much. You know I can keep a secret. Besides, if anyone falls for this trap, well, shame on them. To this, the Minister of Justice smiled, then finally asked his New World spy. I had hoped that you would at least stay for supper. Nisha has been kind enough to invite me to your charming Paris house to savor her delicious cooking.
No. Dodo Gama, not Great Jaguars, Frollo. God, of all the things I could get stuck on.
Well. It's making for good content, question mark?
Big question mark. Fern Grigsby returned smile, explaining, No, Claude, I'll let you two be alone. I have to get back to the 20th century and help Kyle and Shelley work on their house. That was Nisha's old Blue Ridge Roadhouse, remember? Roadhouse? I could go for country food, I guess. I don't know.
I'm always in the mood for barbecue.
That just reminded me, there's that one place that I think you've ate at before that's out, like, right near where I live.
What's it called?
I'm going to put the name in chat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I know what you're talking about, but...
There might be apostrophe in there somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I haven't actually been there. I've just heard the name.
Because I remember the whole thing of like, well, if you guys are going to do that, let me know.
Yeah, we haven't done that, and then this whole COVID-19 thing happened.
Well, it's a good thing we're not monetized.
Are they messing
Yes.
with that now too? Okay.
They have been for a while.
Huh. I
As
thought it was
soon as
just
it detects-
coronavirus. What? We're not monetized.
Yes, but I would like to be at some point.
That's gonna take a while at the rate we're growing.
Yeah. Anyway. They got some good stuff. I like their gravy. Where the fuck am I? Did I scroll? How? Okay. Frollo understood this, then asked Fern about her brother. I suppose you are anxious for news of Daniel's first day on the job. My dear Fern, your brother has so much potential, I can feel it. He really shouldn't throw away his valuable talents from by drifting from one thing to another. Jahan has done just that. Well, you see what a shambles Jahan has made his life. Also, if you're gonna do this, don't say asked if. Oh God. Basically, either decide whether or not you're going to have dialogue or not. By which I mean, don't say Frollo asked Fern about her brother and then have the part of him asking about her brother. If you're going to have the sentence, Frollo asked Fern about her brother, you don't have the dialogue of him asking, you just go straight to her answering.
Yeah, no. Did that sentence that he was speaking just feel really much like a clusterfuck to you too? Because like I'm just like trying to absorb that right now. It's just like,
Yeah,
what,
it didn't
what
really.
the fuck even? To this, Fern said, Claude, I know Iggy is bright and talented. That was me adding an extra A on there. Sorry. I make mistakes too, guys. It's okay.
What? Never.
Why didn't I tell you he almost got his master's degree before he got kicked out of school?
I could have been an engineer.
Now you're stuck on this part of it.
Yeah, my immediate thought with that was just the fucking like that one video where Markiplier is just crying in his like shower, just going, "I could have been an engineer."
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Stop trying to. No. There we go. Anyway.
Everything all right over there?
Phone trying to say, "Hey, try these apps, why don't you?" And no.
Okay, gotcha.
No. Claude sadly acknowledged this as he recalled Fern's story of Daniel Ignatius McMullen, a brilliant young man who had been labeled a genius in first grade. Well, you see, there's your problem. You put him in the gifted and talented program. That's just going to give him fucking burnout by the time he reaches fourth grade. The kid's going to be put up to such high standards, they'll never be able to feel like he can ever accomplish them and just give the fuck up. Fucking hell. He skipped several grades and graduated high school early. He then won a full scholarship to UC Berkeley. It was at Berkeley that Iggy got involved, not only with his rigorous academics, but with the radical liberalism that was so characteristic of the time. Right. Frollo sighed in frustration as Fern told him how Iggy got expelled for organizing a sit-in at a chemical plant. I failed to see that it being a problem. A company whose very conservative CEO was close friends with then Governor Reagan. I fail to see how this is a problem. A few pulled strings, an overwhelmingly generous donation to Reagan's 1976 presidential bid. Well, money talks.
Iggy had it all. A successful music career, a promising future. Loving Vern stopped herself as she and Frollo strolled down the long corridor leading to his private chambers. Claude Frollo put his hand on Fern's shoulder and gently said, Fern, do not blame yourself for Daniel's failings. He just may very well discover that he cannot forever run from his problems. Maybe this little job will be the catalyst.
You know the thing that I'm noticing? The reasons to hate Iggy are not the ones that they're giving us. Like, Iggy is not a likable character, but it's not for the reasons they're giving us. Like, they're telling us. He's not unlikable because he once staged a sit-in at a chemical plant, which, again, failing to see the issue here. He's unlikable for the reasons why they tell us he's charming.
Yeah, it's just not the best written character.
No, none of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Fern was grateful that this man was so understanding. Right, because when I think medieval France, I think understanding. Thanks, Claude. But you know, I think I'll leave Iggy alone for a while, let him settle into routine and all. And he has this band reunion thing coming up, and hey! She glanced at her watch, adding, wait, oh, that wouldn't have been the proper point for ellipses if she was doing this because she glanced at her watch. What? I better get going. I promised Dwayne I'd be home before 6. You can time travel.
And with that, she and Frollo said their goodbyes. Then, depressing the red button on her time traveler, Fern vanished in a sea of white light.
This story's making me depressed. I'm sorry. Oh God, this is going to piss me off every time. If you can fucking time travel, you don't need to worry about being on a tight schedule. Unless it's to get away from a thing. Is this also work with time zones? Like, is it fucking, like, whichever time zone France is in? Like, is it also going to be that difference in time, too?
Possibly.
Let's see. Georgia time zone. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay. And then we have France time zone. Central European summertime. Okay. Okay, so it's 4 a.m. in France right now. It's 10 p.m. in Georgia right now. Difference in time. How many hours is that?
10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Yeah.
6 hours. So yeah, did you have to leave France at like fucking like midnight? No, not lunch.
Yes.
No. Go back. Midnight. Like, would you have to make sure you're leaving France before midnight to make sure you're back in Georgia modern time, like modern day on time?
Yes.
Like, it's...
What weird time traveling rules are you following, Llytic?
Don't you fucking start with me, boy.
And
with that, she and Frollo said their goodbye. Wait, no, you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Frollo smiled. What a good woman. Dwayne Grigsby is fortunate to have someone so devoted, so loving. But that brother, Daniel, is different. But there's something I find extremely intriguing. There's so much more than what Denish'll call 60s radical chic.
Well, no matter.
Oh, God. There's a lot to say about that. Fern is so great, but her brother, he's different. You know, I could see Claude Frollo thinking that the thing that makes a person bad is the fact that they're different.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of good women. I hate that. I hate this phrase. I hate that I have to keep saying that. Ew, I feel disgusting. I must get ready, for my lovely 14th lady is preparing the most delicious meal. Then perhaps a delicious after-dinner treat.
Tom is uncomfortable.
Yep, that's what I definitely want in any story, implied frolication. Now let's see, what delicious outfit should I wear? Stop saying the word delicious. Too warm for leather.
At least it didn't say scrumptious.
Black denim jeans. That should please her. So what if they fit too tightly? I love them tight.
This is uncomfortable for everyone involved.
I'd like to point out that until recently I was role-playing a prostitute, and even I didn't do shit like this.
A sexy wicked. Is that actually my line?
Yes.
What the hell are we reading it? A sexy wicked smile spread over the Minister of Justice's face as he examined his reflection in the mirror. Claude Frollo studied his slim body encased in skin-tight black denim and thought, and Denisha loves whenever I wear anything tight.
I'm going to vomit again.
This is terrible. I hate it.
Why is this a thing that's popular on the channel?
Because it's terrible
right.
and we're in pain.
I kind of realized as soon as I said it, yeah. This is interesting. Weird definition of interesting. Fern has gone back to her time. The Minister of Justice is prepared to visit his 14th Frollo secret mistress. This implies that Frollo has had sex with more than one person, and that makes me very uncomfortable. Actually, no. The implication of Frollo having sex with more than none people makes me very uncomfortable. But she isn't at home. She's busy playing babysitter to 3 good time boys. Read on. This story just pull out a gun and put it to my head? What the fuck?
Keep reading. You have no choice.
Read.
I kept a safe distance as Iggy, Quasi, and Phoebus made their way up the street toward the tavern. Now I knew of this place, as I've always been a steady customer. No, I don't mean for the drink, but this place serves the best...
I could use the drink.
I'm beginning to wish I did drink.
I desire the drink, Father. Father, I crave alcohol.
That's all sorts of unhealthy, but okay.
Did you finish the line? No.
Yeah, I finished my line. It was a short one.
But this place serves the best rose? Did you say that part?
Rosé.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I like the place for the atmosphere. It's quintessentially late medieval with its odd and colorful assortment of characters, and the distinct smell of shit from outside. There's the owner, Victor Jot, one of the nicest and funniest men in all of Paris. You see, Victor's place, La Belle de Aveyron, was named after his mother, Sarah Jot. Claude told me that Madame Jot was one of the most beautiful women in her hometown. Sounds like Victor's got an Oedipus complex, but whatever. Hence the name of the tavern. She moved to Paris after her husband died. Victor carried on his father's tradition and established one of the most popular taverns in Paris. but the tavern fell on hard times due to increased competition and a fickle clientele. That was too bad, because Victor was one of my first friends when I first came to Medieval Patty. He let people know that I was Minister Frollo's New World friend. Treat her right. Thanks, Vic. I can always count on you. Weird how we didn't see this friendship happen in the first story where she first came to Paris.
Maybe it's because she hadn't thought of it yet. Huh. That's
Do I
weird.
smell a retcon? Think
Either
I
that or
smell a
just adding,
retcon.
or either that or just adding on that. Maybe a retcon. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to give myself a promotion.
Little did I know that this would be one of Victor's better nights, for an obscure visitor from the New World would put on the loudest, most rocking blow the roof off the place performance. And he would be joined by a bell ringer, an ex-soldier turned caretaker, and Minister Frollo's New World friend.
Minister Frollo's New World friend. Of course, I was glad to come along for the ride because Iggy almost got himself in hot water with Claude. Glad I, or Christine, didn't tell him what Iggy did. God, that was hilarious.
Phoebus, Iggy, and Quasi stood out La Belle Davignon. Davignon, I don't know. Well, I don't think it's Avignon. I don't
didn't say Avignon. Avignon.
Avignon. I don't know if the G is pronounced in that one. I think it might be silenced or silent.
Oh wait, no, there's a second N. Whoops, I never noticed the first one. That's why I was saying Avagon. Like Diagon. Anyway.
Either way. Well, I kept a bright lookout for Claude, a soldier, or anyone who would spot Iggy. Lord, please don't let Claude find out that Iggy's here. It could mean my head. Okay, so why are you?
That sounds like a healthy relationship right there.
Why are you dating him again?
Because he looks good in skinny jeans.
Does he though? Does he really?
Avignon is a commune in southeastern France, in the department of Vaucluse, on the left bank of the Rhone River. The Rhone River? I don't fully speak France. Is Avignon safe at night?
Maybe. I don't know.
TripAdvisor. Avignon is not safe at night. Avignon Forum TripAdvisor. Okay. The ex-captain pulled out a handful of gold coins, suggested to Iggy that we really can't stay long, as Quasimodo has to be back to Notre Dame to ring evening mass. Iggy understood this, thumbed the neck of the jumbo ovation. Why are the bottoms rounded? Guitar. Then said, okay, whatever. Even if it's for a couple hours, let the good times roll.
The good times roll. The trio laughed and started to enter the tavern when Iggy spotted a lovely lady strolling down the street. I watched her too and instantly recognized her. What happened next was priceless. Click to find out more.
No. She was pretty, with a wealth of chestnut-colored hair and bright blue eyes. She was slightly taller than I, 5'6", and a medium weight. Okay, so I'm a shade heavier than her, but Claude likes his women of all sizes and colors. The man is truly rainbow. He is very much not gay. Don't you start this.
What is happening? This was Christine, Claude Frollo's 19 FSM, a lady who didn't take any nonsense from anyone. Even this over.
What?
19th.
No.
Yes.
Nope. Frollo secret mistress. I dislike this. I dislike.
Even this overgrown flower child didn't stand in her way as he addressed her.
Hey, Mama, what's happening?
Christine, her resolute expression, ignored this stale come on. He repeated this line, then walked behind her and didn't slow down even though she stepped up to her pace. I said, what's happening? Hey, baby, what's your sign? Do you know the more I see you, the more I want you?
I'm going to beat all of medieval Paris to death. Someone must atone for this. And I can't destroy the modern state of Georgia because that might cause problems right now.
Okay, let's not destroy anyone. Yes, this is bad, but it's not worth killing an entire city.
I could wipe the state off the map quite easily.
Yes, but let's not get too hasty here, all right?
She turned to look at him, telling him firmly and repeatedly to leave her alone. Sir, I don't know you. Not interested in your sign, whatever that is. Now be gone. Peggy was insistent when I approached Christine and told her, this man is from the New World, the western part to be precise. It's why he doesn't know Parisian ways. Now, I'm pretty sure wherever you are, it's kind of wrong to just hit on people who don't want to be hit on.
Mm-hmm.
I then whispered to her, Christine, this guy is my friend's brother, and I don't want to see get into trouble. You and I both know what would happen if Claude ever walks in on this.
The story would be over, and we wouldn't have to worry too much about it anymore, and then we wouldn't have to read this anymore. Let him get him. Come on.
I really dislike the idea of Frollo doing open relationships because that is just burning into my brain right now. Why must you ruin something happy, healthy, and wholesome, writer?
Christine acknowledged this while Iggy wandered up beside her and said, oh, baby, I was just having some fun. That's all. Fuck you, Iggy. Go fuck yourself. But hey, why don't we mosey in the old watering hole and split a brew? Maybe I can sing you a song. Iggy, shut the fuck up.
I will beat you to death with your own liver, Iggy. Christine glared at Iggy, then looked to me and said, I suppose he only understands one language.
What language would that be?
American.
No, that's not it. I grinned and nodded. Christine returned the grin, then hauled off and landed the perfect right cross to Iggy's jaw. Ah, there we go.
Violence. The great communicator. Chainsaws.
A crowd had gathered the minute Iggy tried to come on to Christine. They all laughed hysterically.
Why?
They all laughed hysterically as Iggy struggled to his feet, still holding his jaw. I mean, maybe she's not so secret. Everyone knows she's a spy who can kick people's asses. They just wanted to see a random passerby get his ass handed to him.
No, Christine's not the spy. Christine's one of Frollo's many side pieces.
Secret. I thought that was the name of the spy group.
Frollo's secret mistress.
Yeah, I thought that was the
mistress.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I misread that. I thought that was the. I thought yes. I just thought the FSM was the actual spy network. Yeah, and that's what they were referring to it to. I just misread it is all.
No. I think you got the message, Christine said with a wink before resuming her journey.
Iggy only had to say, damn, that chick has a killer punch. What was name? What was name?
You see, it turns out Iggy's actually very much a hardcore masochist in a way that takes it almost to unhealthy levels. Christine? If he doesn't need a hospital visit, he hasn't gotten off.
What was name, Christine? He shook his head, got to his feet, and watched her vanish down the street.
Braid, what is braid?
The story is just off the rails insane. It's like
I said, it was never on the rails.
I know, but
her mama named her right because she packs the wallop of a Buick.
Is there a Buick?
Oh my god, that was a Stephen King reference. Christine, killer car.
Oh, okay. Huh. You see, here's my head right here. That reference, right over it. She packs the wallop of a Buick. Oh man, that's oh, this just keeps getting.
How does this
more and
writer
more.
manage to get on every single one of my nerves?
How are you letting her get on every single one of your nerves? I've just kind of reached this nirvana where I'm just reading and responding at this point in time.
Well, while you're fucking swimming in an ocean of 90s grunge, I'm here just being very much done with this woman's shit.
Less of swimming and more just like you've seen those people who's just had a whole bunch of stuff splashed onto them that they don't react to anything anymore. That's kind of the point I'm at right now. Just like, yes, this is happening. I'm not even disappointed or surprised or anything. It's just this is a thing that's
my life now.
Well, I guess I knew what I signed up for when I started joining this, but we'll see. La Belle whatever that means. I can't. It's French.
The beauty of Avignon. Avignon. Belle means beauty.
La Belle d'Avignon. Yeah, whatever. Medieval Europe at its finest. Yep. There it is.
So, slightly fewer witch burnings than usual.
Madame Wet's portrait prominently displayed. Victor must really loved his mama. Unhealthily so.
Oedipus. Little did we know that this man was up in the ranks with the first motherfucker. In the dimly lit...
but I have the feeling he's not going to blind himself.
We can only hope. In the dimly lit, crowded, smoke-filled tavern, I beckoned to Victor for 3 beers for my friends and some of that fab rosé for me.
Oui, Madame. I'm trying
Mademoiselle.
to. Mademoiselle, yes. Oui, Mademoiselle Nisha, came the hearty reply. Victor's huge snow-white handlebar mustache, even though it wasn't termed as such yet, twitched with delight as he personally served the 4 of us. He asked me about Fern and then Jackie.
Both of them are dead.
They died. They were lost to time and space.
That Jacqueline is très belle, and Madame Fern is a delight. Started turning Spanish. Victor turned to Iggy, then exclaimed, "You must be her brother, no? Mademoiselle Fern has told me much about you. I understand you are a musician."
Iggy answered each and every question Victor posed and said, "Hey, if you want me to play for your little crowd."
What was the first musical instrument? Oh, you're a musician? Name every song. Turns out Victor is actually a hardcore gatekeeper.
Hey.
It was then that Victor glanced over to me and said to Iggy, "My dear mademoiselle, my dear monsieur, I've heard this young lady sing. On occasion, she will come in here and serenade like customers with their wonderful New World music." Keep rolling. Because I know you be loving this shit right here. Usually when I make this joke, it's good music, but not the thing that anyone would expect, like DMX. Nope, this time it was Limp Bizkit.
If it's 90s, what if he busts out some Green Day?
Yeah. Wait, no, I think I was about to go with Linkin Park. Whoops.
Yeah, those are 2 very different bands, Llytic.
Yes, I constantly get them flipped.
Okay, that's almost as weird as me getting Billy Joel and Elton John mixed up. Don't Okay, before anyone says anything, don't ask me. I have no fucking idea.
Oh my god. There's a lot of Billies in music. Let's see. Did you say you would?
Yes, I think so.
Oh yeah, no, wait, no. Victor glanced around the half-empty tavern, sighed, and added, "Business is slow tonight. Hardly anyone comes in here. Maybe it's just as well I sell this place and go back to Avignon." You guilt-tripping son of a bitch.
Iggy leaned over to whisper something in Victor's ear, then said to me, "So you still do the Diana Ross bit, eh? Old Vic's done asked me to strum a few bars for his customers. I've never turned down a gig yet. Not sure if you should
Which is how I've ended up playing inside an actual crack house, but we don't talk about that time.
Mostly because I don't want to be arrested."
I ain't no snitch. I let out an audible sigh and began to protest Iggy's impending performance when Quasi interrupted me with several questions. "Tanisha, I wanted to ask you something. What was Woodstock and Summer of Love stuff Iggy was talking about? What was this Woodstock?" Whoops. I started doing the... Anyway. Iggy was talking about, "Did you do this stuff when you were a kid?" He asked me a few questions about the 60s, but I was still in grade school when all that happened. I bet Iggy can fill him in.
Probably.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Perhaps.
He seems so incompetent. I don't even know if he's, well, we'll see.
Is
That where we are?
Let me look back up because I'm looking down. Yes.
Sorry. I thought that was, but I wasn't sure because I lost my place for a second because I haven't been scrolling. Suddenly, a man ran into the tavern, out of breath, and excitedly said, "If any of you fellas have broken the law, you'd better hide under the nearest table, because Judge Frollo is headed this way." The bar emptied immediately.
Yes.
Not because everyone there had broken the law, but just because Claude Frollo was coming.
Insert Skyrim joke here. Or Elder Scrolls joke here.
"Stop! You violated the law!"
The man grinned laughingly, then laughingly said, "I'm just pulling your leg. Old Frollo seems in mighty fine spirits this evening." I highly doubt that the phrase "mighty fine" would be used in medieval France.
It probably wouldn't be.
That is very much a southern thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Don't love it,
Mighty fine term, if I do say so myself.
God damn it. I'm not sure what I did just there here, but yeah. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be said back then in France.
Probably wouldn't be.
Anyway. Notice that I do just rant. I will just sometimes say pert instead of pretty.
All right. Is it my line? Or did you finish yours?
Yeah, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Love of God, just once. Quasi
so let's talk about Monster Hunter World.
You never let me finish, Tom. Quasi was understandably distraught, but I assured him that as long as he returned to Notre Dame in time for his duties, there was little danger of chastisement. Yes, chastisement is the issue, not being fucking whipped. I peered out the window as Claude rode past. He stopped, hitched Snowball to a post outside a sweet shop located a few doors down. Whew! Claude's not coming in here, that's for sure. Can't have him discover the Iggy. Again, dash, not fucking
ellipses.
Ellipses, Potter.
Before I knew it, Iggy and Phoebus were out the door and down the street. I told Quasi to stay put while I went after these two clowns.
They saw the candy store as well.
Now, how was I to know that Iggy would want an up-close and personal look at Claude Frollo's Black Stallion? And how was I to know that Iggy would launch into the funniest impression this side of a 1960s sitcom? So glad Iggy disappeared before Claude recognized him.
Much later, as Iggy promised, the good times rolled, not reloaded. Part 6, Part 2. Function at the junction.
So we're going to keep going with this. Yes. Okay.
And then we're going to take a break. And we're going to do second session.
Okay.
It is early that evening, and the Minister of Justice has arrived at his 14th lady's Paris home. But she's not home. Read on.
Would you like to know more?
No.
Hang on. Minister of Justice strode up to the door and knocked. No answer.
Minister Sinister.
She's busy preparing supper. I'll just let myself in.
She's busy preparing that ass.
Taking a key from his pocket, he smiled, then unlocked the door and entered.
Ew. My love, I hope you like this outfit. Tight black jeans, the slim-fitting black jacquard doublet, the boots, the purple shirt. I believe I bought this shirt during my one of my last 20th century visits. Darling Nisha, I have a very sweet treat for you, and it's not what's in this basket. I hate it.
For a sec there, I thought you were just playing up the stupid dialogue. No, that was actually what's written.
That was actually written. I feel no.
Anisha, my love.
Show me on the doll where the fan fiction touched you. Right here.
That's the heart.
That's all of you. Yes.
Anisha, my love, I'm here and I've brought a little treat.
I see he's packing that 1-inch punch.
Called out Claude Frollo as he entered the modest house. However, no one responded when he called out again.
Nisha, darling, did you hear me?
There was still no response. Claude set the basket of treats on the table, then began to search the house. He went upstairs, but found no one. Claude Frollo returned downstairs. He was quite puzzled that his 14th lady wasn't home.
Well, time to go visit my 19th. Why, Denisha, where are you? The table is set, but dinner has not been prepared. Why am I thinking this?
Suddenly, Claude snapped his fingers.
Notre Dame, she may still be with Quasimodo, enjoying her visit, perhaps stayed for evening mass. Ah, well, no matter, I'll fetch her myself. Sweet Nisha, you are a good woman, and I am not angry, for I know you'll make up for lost time.
Well, I feel dirty.
Even if this weren't a story where the person being fucked with Frollo, that would still be one of the most disgusting things I've ever had to hear.
Yeah, at least you didn't have to read it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I was looking at it while you read it, so I technically read it.
Yes.
That's besides the point. My point is gross. Claude Frollo exited the house, mounted Snowball. God, he's horny. Then headed for the cathedral. Little did he know that Nisha, along with Quasimodo, was elsewhere.
Meanwhile, at La Belle d'Avignon, Victor Joet's tavern, a bell ringer, neck soldier, an overgrown flower child, and Minister Frollo's 14th lady are enjoying a good drink and good company.
Again, even to me, 14 partners seems excessive. Actually, no, he has more than 14. He has fucking 19. At least. Seems excessive even for me. So let me get this straight, said Quasi between sips of beer. Woodstock was like our Feast of Fools, but bigger. Also, if memory serves, at one point Jimi Hendrix did a protest piece in which he did a cover of the Star Spangled Banner. The bell ringer tried to visualize the 1969 rock festival and compare it with the 1480s Feast of Fools. And Wilder with lots more people in music. That comment came from Phoebus, as Iggy filled them in on the whole 1960s counterculture.
Even though I was only in grade school, I offered a few of my memories of the 1960s. All that flower power, psychedelics, free love, cool clothes, cool music, Motown, Phil Spector, the British invasion. There was also the dark side.
I could use some psychedelics right now.
There was also the dark side of this turbulent decade. Freedom Riders, Dr. King. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
The Kennedys, the riots, Vietnam. So I was glad that Iggy and I agreed that we would only talk about the happy times. Okay.
I think desegregation should be considered a happy time. Mm-hmm. I might say it right now.
I mean, I can understand like Vietnam and riots and such, but like,
yeah, the Vietnam War was whenever Americans first realized, wait a minute, the government's kind of shit.
Yes.
Like before that, like it was just a whole thing of no, you trust your government. After that, it was like, wait, we're being used. We are very much being used.
Yeah. Okay. Why were those bad things exactly? Again, riots in Vietnam, I understand. Everything else, really?
I mean, if memory serves, wasn't it the Kennedy assassinations took place in that time?
Yes, maybe that's what they're referring to, but
maybe Dr. King being assassinated.
Maybe.
But the Freedom Riders?
Well, just based on that, maybe they're saying, I don't know. I really don't.
Feels real goddamn uncomfortable. When Phoebus asked about the Summer of Love, he couldn't believe this. You mean hundreds of people went to this San Francisco, and all they did was wear flowers, sing songs, talk about peace and harmony? They also fucked. There was a lot of that. Iggy smiled just from the reminiscence. Yeah, man, that was a blast. He drained his beer, then pulled something from his pocket. Iggy whispered to us, "Hey, man, want to see what Fern looked like when she was 20? He chuckled as he handed over a photo of a much younger Fern McMullen. Quasi and Phoebus laughed at the image of the not quite overweight, bright-eyed young lady. Even I laughed, but there she was, standing out amongst the crowd and clad in a long, wildly hued tie-dyed dress. From her neck hung strands of beads. Her wrists sported several rawhide bracelets. Her gold auburn hair streamed down her back and was adorned with many colorful flowers. She wore these pink-colored granny glasses and carried what I could tell was an oversized hand-crocheted bag of the wildest color combinations. On her feet were, I don't think Fern was wearing shoes.
Ah, yes, barefoot. Good way to go. I'm barefoot right now.
Are we going to get feet cam?
No.
Okay. And I did... Do it for the fans, Tom.
No, those sickos.
And did I see a small smoking object in her hand? That wasn't a cigarette. No, it was weed, you fuck.
Young Fern is a dead ringer for Mama Cass. Well, I think Cass was about 50 pounds heavier.
Quasi looked at the picture, then asked Iggy more about Woodstock. It was something else, Quasi. Of course, I was only 16 at the time. You see, I skipped a couple of grades, graduated early. Fern took me to Frisco in 67, then Woodstock in 69. Nice. He smiled again when he said, it was at Woodstock that Fern met Dwayne, and I met my right hand.
Something strange came over Iggy as he gathered his thoughts and sipped his second beer. Then he called over to Victor. Hey, barkeep, want to make some real money tonight? Victor replied that anything that would attract customers would be most welcome.
something strange came over Iggy as he just stared wistfully at his right hand. I miss you. Iggy, what the fuck? So Iggy took his guitar, got up before the small, and it wasn't small for long, crowd, and began to play. Ah, I see. So Iggy's a grower, not a shower.
I was feeling so bad. I asked my family doctor just what I had. Good lovin'. Give me that good lovin'. Good lovin'. I don't know the tune, so I'm not going to try.
Probably should. Not family doctor. Whoops. Not family. Okay, yeah. The few patrons dropped whatever they were doing and turned to look and listen to this strange man. I guess it was when Victor announced, "This is Mademoiselle Nisha's new world friend. Iggy has been kind enough to..." Fuck me. Wait. Has been kind enough to treat us to his country's wonderful music.
Wow, Llytic, I didn't know you were into Frenchmen who owned bars and had handlebar mustaches.
I mean, I do like something to to hold on to.
Soon, Iggy had the crowd's attention. He even established a lively rapport with these folks. Quasi was grateful that he was able to rush to Notre Dame, ring bells for evening mass, then rush back to the tavern for Iggy's performance. I assured him that as long as he returned to the cathedral at a decent hour, then what can Claude say? Deep in my heart, I knew that Claude would love this performance, but only in private. Come on, Claude, don't decide to take off early. For once, I want you so swamped with work. Hey, he won't come here anyway. It's not his scene.
Hey, Nisha, why don't you and Quasi and old Nub here come up and help me out? I dislike that nickname. Iggy stood upon a makeshift platform after his first song. Many people had already heard the funky sounds emanating from the tavern, so they came to get a closer listen. In a flash, the tavern was filled quickly as Iggy, Quasi, Phoebus, and I began a set of Jackson 5 covers. It was an evening to remember, and dear God, the thing they start with.
A, B, C, easy as 1, 2, 3. Simple as do, re, mi. I don't know the exact tune, but I think I got in the ballpark at least. It's a good song. I like that song.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard it. And granted, like that whole part. Did she only put that because that was the only part she could remember?
Possibly. That's the hook, so.
Yes. Let's see. I even dedicated a line to a certain city magistrate, although he wasn't present and no one in that tavern knew to whom I was singing. I'm sorry, what's that way that Victor tends to introduce you to people? Frollo's new world friend?
Mm-hmm.
Later, though, I'd reprised the number, not knowing that a certain someone was watching our function at the junction through the window. Going to beat all of medieval Paris to death.
Yeah, across the ocean in South America, there was a bungle in the jungle going on.
Don't you fucking start with me.
After our set, Iggy whispered something in Quasi's ear. I had to ask Quasi, what's that all about? Then Quasi looked at Iggy, then at me and said, well, let's just say that Iggy taught me a couple of new songs. I don't know if I did that right, and if I didn't do that character justice, I'm sorry. So I thought, what could it hurt? Quasi had finished his chores at Notre Dame. Few people gave my buddy any grief, and Claude wasn't here yet.
Gee, yes, I wonder what's going to happen.
Claude, one of the...
You know, the great thing about foreshadowing is... What?
I said, Claude wasn't here yet. Ah, yes, Claude Frollo, one of the constants in the universe.
You know, I gotta say, I just love the foreshadowing that the story has done. I mean, nothing is better than foreshadowing that leaves absolutely nothing to the imagination.
Mm-hmm. Now, why don't you tell us what happens and then call out the events as it comes along, too? I think that would work a little bit better.
I hear that's a great way to do storytelling. Like, just the best way. In a flash, Quasi donned a pair of shades.
Okay, that's a fun image. Just Quasimodo just puts on sunglasses. I'm about to bring the house down.
I all of my hate. All of my hate. Oh my fucking god. Then began to do a knockdown cover of Fingertips. Phoebus and Iggy stood back while Quasimodo blasted that harmonica. He sounded like Stevie Wonder. The crowd had never seen anything like this before, and the tavern became even more crowded as word on the street spread about there's a party over at old Victor's place.
Iggy attacked his guitar as Quasi performed.
Oh, I made a Jimi Hendrix joke earlier, but I wasn't expecting him to destroy his guitar.
No, he's not destroying it. He just sets the guitar down and starts punching the strings and just causes himself to bleed.
Sets guitar on fire. Clap your hands just a little bit louder. Wait, what?
Just a little,
Wait.
but louder.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a little bit louder.
Let me look up the lyrics real quick.
I believe, yeah, Fingertips.
Yep, it's supposed to be a little bit louder.
Yeah, it was like, why the fuck would be just a little but louder doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That would be terrible for that's just a terrible song line.
Yeah, I mean, it's like saying clap your hands just a little bit, but make sure the little bit of clapping you do is loud.
That still just seems.
It's tedious at best. I didn't think that was it, but I wanted to be sure.
Clap your hands just a little bit louder. Clap your hands just a little bit louder.
What do you know? Little Quasi Wonder. Those words came from Iggy as the whole tavern resounded with the raucous music of the 60s and 70s.
Oh, so it was Quasi singing.
Yep.
I guess. Well, also playing the harmonica.
Well, I mean, he might have had one of those straps that allowed him to play the harmonica and sing at the same time.
Stevie Wonder was blind, not deaf, writer.
Yep, talk about throwdowns, and the party was just beginning. Little did we know that the word on the street would soon reach Claude Frollo's ears. When he showed up, well, let's say dear Claude wasn't too pleased.
Meanwhile, at Notre Dame.
Claude Frollo descended the bell tower steps. He was quite puzzled and a little angry.
Quasimodo's not in the bell tower, neither is Denisha. Perhaps they're elsewhere. It's not like her to forget a dinner date. Although Quasimodo's finished with his duties, he mustn't be out and about the streets all night. I've told him again and again, even though he's now part of the outside world, he must not neglect his responsibilities.
Give myself a promotion.
Yeah, Claude Frollo sounds like a great person.
The absolute best person.
Even when they're writing him in a positive light, he still manages to sound terrible.
Yes. Yes. The Minister of Justice frowned and scowled. He had never tolerated anyone gumming up his schedule. Not going to say it. Not even his 14th Frollo secret mistress, who he thoroughly treasured, would dare to break a dinner date. Damn it, Nisha, where are you? Claude Frollo wandered up and down Notre Dame's corridor, searching its chapels, its sanctuary. Neither the bell ringer nor his 14th lady could be found.
At that moment, one of the priests spotted Frollo and addressed his grace. Minister Frollo, if you're looking for the bell ringer, he's not here.
I noticed you, dimwit.
It just says that, just walks off. For I saw him leave right after he finished his evening chores. Frollo kept his anger under control, but he was clearly perturbed. But he was clearly perturbed that Quasimodo had hastily left the cathedral. He then asked the priest of the whereabouts of Denisha. The priest replied, "Oh yes, Mademoiselle Nisha was here. She left much earlier with Phoebus and that funny-looking little man."
Quasimodo?
No, the other one. The one with the weird clothes.
Quasimodo.
No, the other one. Like, I think he's also from the New World.
Quasi.
Right. I'm just going to leave now. Have a good evening, Minister Frollo.
Oh no, someone poured water on Claude Frollo and he's malfunctioning. So, what are you doing for dinner tonight, Quasimodo?
Hey.
The Minister of Justice interrupted. Quasimodo?
Hey.
What funny-looking little man. And Phoebus was in their company.
The priest nodded, then continued to tell Frollo all about Quasimodo and Phoebus's companion. Frollo paused, stroked his chin, and snapped his fingers.
Yes, it can only be. But how did he manage to return to Phoebus, that half-witted? Oh. No, let them down gently. I'll save my full fury for Jahan. If it wasn't for him, Denisha wouldn't be here. And Denisha wouldn't be compelled to play sentinel for two overgrown. Damn.
After Claude Frollo got a description of Quasimodo and Phoebus's funny-looking companion, he asked the priest of their whereabouts.
I heard Phoebus say they were heading to old Victor Jou's tavern.
La Belle de Avignon. That's your grace.
Claude Frollo smiled, thanked the priest, and quickly exited the cathedral. As he mounted Snowball, he heard snickering behind him. Claude turned to look at these fellows, only to hear them repeat what was said much earlier.
Sorry, Your Grace, said the first man. But we're glad that you didn't see that funny little man and what he did outside Chantel's sweet shop. Frollo glared at hard at the man, then asked,
"And what exactly did this man do?"
The second man replied, "Oh, he put on the funniest performance. He stood beside Snowball and began saying things like, 'Hello there, Wilbur. Why, he even whinnied like a horse, sir. It was so funny.'"
You do not get to defile the sacred name of Mr. Ed like this.
Hey.
But Claude Frollo wasn't laughing. I don't think most people who suddenly would have had a Mr. Ed impression foisted upon them without ever having any idea what Mr. Ed was would be laughing. Wasn't laughing as thanked the men for this information and rode briskly toward that tavern.
Back at La Belle d'Avignon, there's a party going on. This joint is rocking.
Hey, baby, I think I love you. Get up, sugar britches. Show me what you can do. Shake it, baby. Go on, shake it, baby. Oh.
Party time.
I launched into another encore of ABC, this time dedicating a few lines to my sugar britches. Oh. Lovely. Now I knew perfectly well that Claude Frollo would never set foot in a place like this, let alone shake it, baby, in public.
This next line, oh boy.
All right, Claude, maybe you can shake it, baby, when we're behind closed doors. I never wanted to think about Claude Frollo twerking. I could have went my whole life without that image.
Let's call this one the one where Llytic dies a little inside. A little more inside.
Even more so than when the ice cream sandwich.
Place was packed. It was toe-to-toe, nose-to-nose, standing room only. Oh, God, that's horrible. The beer, ale...
pit, got it.
The beer, ale, and wine flowed like water. Victor even got in on the act when Iggy and I showed him how to do the funky chicken.
I will fucking kill someone.
Oh, yeah, that was a sight I'd never forget. Little did we know that someone was watching through the window. But with every eye on us, not one person noticed the tall, slender, black-clad man still astride his black stallion, nor did they notice his cold as steel glare.
Why did he enter on his horse?
Mm.
Oh no, he's outside the window. Okay. I was going to say, just enters bar on horse. It was getting late, and Quasi had to return to Notre Dame. Iggy, I said, we have to wrap this up, because Quasi needs to get his rest. He's got bells to ring at dawn. Iggy understood this and decided to wrap up this impromptu performance with a blow-off-the-roof version of All Night Long.
The only instrument...
you do closing time like someone of class, you fuck.
Okay, do you really think anyone in this story has class?
No.
Yeah. The only instruments were Quasi's harmonica, Iggy's guitar, and a few flutes and drums that someone had brought in. That sounds like a terrible combination. It didn't take long for those guys to match Iggy's riff, Iggy riff for riff. You know, it really amazed me, but with just those few acoustic instruments, the sound was wonderful. MTV Unplugged never sounded so good.
Well, MTV hasn't been good since they stopped doing music. Iggy barely launched into the song when the crowd joined in. Then I thought, whether it's 15th or 20th century, music brings people closer together. Clearly someone doesn't remember the satanic panic of rock. These people will never hear stuff like, what?
I'm just wondering, like, okay, if the satanic panic thing happened, what if, like, Claude Frollo was like, oh god, Iggy's trying to summon a demon, and they just went full-on Inquisition on him.
This music is of the devil. Clearly Kiss means knights in Satan's service.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I'm not kidding. That was a thing that happened.
No, I know, but that sounds like
I believe
Claude
watched.
Frollo.
It was also we are Satan's people. When in reality, it was like we are sick people or some shit like that. What are some of the other ones? I don't know. There's a lot of shit like that. It was really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Or like anything in which the devil is used as a metaphor for something bad. It was just using music to glorify the devil.
I don't know about that, but I know the devil.
That was a thing that happened. It was literally.
I was making a joke, Llytic, and you ruined it because you interrupted me. Thanks.
You're welcome. This children's TV show shows something that might be comparable to yoga, therefore it's satanic.
Let's summon demons by stretching out our legs.
Yes, because looking within to solve your problems instead of asking an invisible man in the sky is totally the wrong way of doing things. These people will never hear stuff like this, and it's just like Fern said, why not give these guys a sample of what their descendants will listen to in about 5 centuries?
You know, Fern, I think you were right, and I wish you could be here now, watching your brother bring all this joy to medieval Parisians. This is kind of funny, listening to all these French accents trying to sound like good old boys. How are they speaking English?
You know, that's something that I have been thinking of since the beginning of Back to the Frollo.
I have too, but this is the first time I've vocalized it.
Keep it grinning till the weekend comes. Just a pinch between your cheeking gums. All night long, all night long.
Bodies swayed, hands clapped, and voices blended into the oddest choir as everyone screamed for encore after encore.
She's trying to be clever, ain't she?
Maybe. I don't know.
This rendition of All Night Long is going to last all night long.
Do you honestly think this author is smart enough to be clever with stuff like that?
I think they're smart enough to think that that is clever.
Mm.
I mean, stupid enough to think that it's clever. Because that's what a hack writer would do. I think it was when a young Parisian began to dance with me. I thought it was all in fun. The guy never made any undue advances. Besides, the fool was too drunk to care. Heck, even I had a few rosés too many.
Oh no, drama's about to happen. Here we go.
Yeah.
Suddenly we heard someone shout, "Good evening, Your Grace. Your lady and her friend have put on quite the performance. This is old Victor's..."
Gee, I wonder who she was singing about.
That came from Francois
Francois.
Patot, who had arrived after completing his study sessions. This was his usual routine. Go to La Belle d'Avignon, have a couple beers, chat with Victor and the customers, and go home. This was his sole vice, and Claude didn't seem to mind. But on this particular evening...
Everything came to a standstill as Claude Frollo strode forward. Quasimodo stood very close to me as Claude glared down at him. Now, I was more than ticked that Claude may chastise Quasi in public. If he does that, I'll jump on him like a hawk on a snake. So what if he doesn't speak to me again? I can always head back to my time, have Jackie reprogram the time traveler. Claude would regret. He has to learn that this is one lady he cannot walk all over. Straight people.
Claude, I sweetly but warily began, I had no idea Iggy was here. I had to follow them, make sure they stayed out of trouble, but I guess...
Claude Frollo looked at me with fiery eyes, but he knew that he could push me so far. Then he said, Denisha, you've forgotten our dinner date. Oh, no. I was too busy watching these fools. Oh, God, Claude will lay into me good. Then I'll be ready for him. He then addressed Quasimodo. Dear boy, you should know better than to run off and not inform me of your whereabouts.
I'm sorry, Master. Quasi looked at me while I gave him some silent encouragement. It'll be all right, Quasi. Armed with that ounce of courage, Quasimodo headed back for the cathedral.
Claude then looked at Phoebus, and I could tell he was not very pleased to see his former captain in Iggy's company. Well, after what he said to Phoebus, I suppose Claude laid much of the blame on the ex-soldier.
Phoebus, I presume you're returning to Chateau Darcy this very evening?
Yes, sir, came the swift response.
And I suggest you leave now and take Daniel McMullen with you. Oh, yes.
He extended his hand and said to Phoebus.
May I have it?
Phoebus, not Phobus.
Phoebus, sorry. Wow. Have what, sir?
The device of which my brother so carelessly entrusted you.
Former soldier reached in his pocket and removed that wondrous device and handed it Claude Frollo. Here, hold Claude Frollo.
Handed it Claude Frollo. Honestly, wondrous device, my mind went to a few different places.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see.
Most of them vibrators.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Phoebus, you should have told me. Nrrr. Then Claude approached Iggy, but his expression softened a bit. I thought he was going to verbally rip Iggy apart, but he didn't. Instead, Claude addressed Iggy as such. So, I finally meet the brilliant Daniel. Your sister has told me much about you, and it's a shame that you haven't put your talents to more constructive, more lucrative uses. Well, no matter. Yes, because the only thing that matters in life is making money.
Did I detect a slight smile spreading across Claude's face? Yeah, almost like the time
I can make money.
Almost like the time I went off on him in the cathedral. Claude Frollo, is that you?
Claude then said to Iggy, Phoebus is going to take you to the Darcy estate, where you will remain until your sister can be contacted. Do you understand?
Iggy shuffled his feet, fidgeted with the frets on his guitar, and said, I'm sorry if I caused any trouble, sir. It's just that I was missing my new friends, and Victor over here needed a little business thrown his way, and hey, man, no hard feelings, okay? I looked at Claude with pained eyes. He picked up on this and said to Iggy, My dear Daniel, you've lied to Fern. You've misused a highly delicate instrument. Now, because I hold your sister in such high esteem, I consider yourself fortunate to have not spent a night in my dungeons.
Oh, my. That said, Iggy said nothing as Phoebus escorted him out of the tavern. Quasimodo had already gone back to the cathedral. Claude turned to Francois Patot and shot the poor kid a look that could melt steel bars. He gave him the smolder?
I'm just imagining. Claude turned to Francois Patot and shot the poor kid. The wondrous device was a gun.
Well, Usually, whenever it's like a menacing glare, it's usually described as cold, not hot. Hot is usually used for more of like a seductive gaze.
Anger can be fiery.
Yes, but
Hatred is more
I'm talking
cold.
about like when we're speaking specifically about the eyes and facial expression.
Uh,
The
well,
language
I'm
used
just
for
thinking.
that sort of thing.
I'm thinking of the whole thing like such and such glared hotly at so and so.
That doesn't sound menacing.
Mm-hmm. It's more like tempers have been aroused, and it's more of a momentary lapse of anger than anything else.
It sounds like other things have been aroused. Francois looked at me as if to say, I've lost it. All that confidence Minister Frollo had in me, gone. Poor kid said nothing as he left the tavern. It was old Victor who finally said to Claude, Your Grace, this man, this Iggy, meant no harm, why look? Victor showed Claude a chest overflowing with gold coins. Never have I had a more successful night. That new old friend of Mademoiselle Nisha's was a godsend.
To this, Claude's eyes fell upon the portrait of Sarah, however you pronounce that last name. Then he said to Victor, I'm sure
your mother would be pleased that you've carried on the family tradition. But
Mademoiselle or Miss or just...
Yeah, it'd be Mademoiselle. I'm guessing Mademoiselle.
But Mademoiselle Joette, surely you understand that something may have gone wrong. Why, there may have been a fight, a robbery. But I don't mind.
Okay,
Monsieur. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Monsieur Joette, or however you say that.
Surely you understand that something may have gone wrong. Why, there may have been a fight, a robbery. While I don't mind a businessman finding ways to increase his profits, the safety of his customers must be put above all other needs. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Claude Frollo smiled broadly when he said,
Good, now, he continued while pulling a few coins from his own pocket. I do believe I espied a few customers sneaking off without paying. Do not worry, my men shall catch with them. Okay. This should cover any losses.
Victor's eyes lit up, and so did the other customers. Never had Claude Frollo done anything like this. Even I was shocked. Now, Claude, are you feeling all right? Giving money to a lowly tavern keeper? And after you made us prematurely end our function at the junction. I don't get it.
Not saying a word, Claude escorted me outside and boosted me up into the saddle. Then, after settling himself behind me, whispered into my ear while we headed toward my Paris home, Danisha, I'm highly disappointed in you, and I believe it's time for a little talk.
It wasn't pleasant chit-chat, that's for sure. Bless you.
Yeah. Coming up, the Minister of Justice forgives Nisha, then finds out more about Iggy. Phoebus gets a special treat, a theft, an arrest. Joe Wood sends an important announcement. More
Lovely.
Okay, that's where we're going to end this. Special thank you to Destiny Barrett for supporting us on Patreon. If you like what we do and would like to help support us, then consider going down to that link in the description and clicking, going in and supporting us on that site there. Every little bit helps.
Y'all have a good evening. Or morning or whatever.
Whatever time you listen to us.